Did you know that your dog's guilty look might actually be their way of saying sorry? Yes, those puppy eyes and drooped ears might be more than just an act of submission. They could be a heartfelt apology from your furry friend. It's a common misconception that dogs are unable to experience complex emotions, such as guilt or remorse. This belief stems from the idea that dogs live in the moment, not dwelling on the past or fretting about the future. But what if we've been underestimating our canine companions? What if they're more emotionally sophisticated than we've given them credit for? Consider, for example, the classic scene. You come home to find a shredded pillow and your dog is cowering in the corner with a guilty look in their eyes. Many would be quick to interpret this as a sign of guilt, but is it really? Or is it merely a fear response, knowing that a scolding is imminent? Another scenario might involve your dog acting unusually clingy after doing something they shouldn't have. Maybe they've nabbed a chicken off the counter or dug up your prized tulips. Suddenly, they're following you around, nuzzling into you, and offering up their favorite toy. This could be seen as an apology, an attempt to make amends for their misdeeds. Typically, dogs express their emotions physically. A wagging tail, a playful bow, or a submissive rollover are all part of their emotional vocabulary. So it's not too far-fetched to think that their guilty behaviors could be their unique way of saying, "I'm sorry." But remember, dogs are not humans. They don't perceive the world the way we do. Their understanding of right and wrong is largely influenced by their interactions with us, their human companions. They learn what behaviors earn them praise and which ones result in scolding. So is this really an apology, or are we just interpreting their actions through our human lens? Stick around to find out. This discussion is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to unraveling the intricate emotional world of our four-legged friends. To understand if dogs can apologize, we first need to delve into their behavior and communication methods. Dogs, much like humans, have their own unique language. However, instead of words, they primarily use body language and vocalizations. These furry friends communicate in a multitude of ways. From a wagging tail, a tilted head, to a playful bow, each gesture carries a specific message. A relaxed, wagging tail, for instance, generally signals a happy, content dog, while a stiff, straight tail can indicate tension or alertness. Vocalizations also play a vital role in canine communication. A dog might bark, growl, whine, or even howl to express different emotions or intentions. A friendly bark might be a dog's way of saying hello, while a growl could be a warning to back off. Additionally, dogs are highly social animals. As descendants of wolves, they've inherited the pack mentality. In a pack, harmony is vital for survival. Dogs have developed an intricate system of social behaviors to maintain peace and order within their group. They show submission to their leaders and dominance over their subordinates, using a complex repertoire of signals and behaviors. When it comes to misbehavior, dogs may not understand the concept of right and wrong in the same way humans do, but they are aware of the consequences of their actions. If a behavior results in a positive outcome, they're likely to repeat it. Conversely, if a behavior leads to a negative consequence, they may avoid it in the future. So, do dogs feel guilty when they misbehave? It's a question that has sparked considerable debate among animal behaviorists and pet owners alike. While some believe that dogs can experience complex emotions such as guilt, others argue that what we perceive as guilt is merely a reaction to our human emotions and reactions. With this understanding of dog behavior, we can now explore the question of whether dogs can truly express guilt or apology. Many of us are quick to interpret a dog's guilty look as an apology, but what does science have to say about this? Let's dive into the fascinating world of canine cognition. Several studies have been conducted to understand if dogs indeed feel guilt or remorse. One of the most notable studies was carried out by Alexandra Horowitz, a dog cognition scientist at Barnard College. She conducted an experiment where owners were asked to forbid their dogs from eating a treat. The owners then left the room, and some dogs obeyed while others didn't. Upon returning, regardless of whether the dogs ate the treat or not, they were scolded by their owners. Horowitz observed that the dogs looked most guilty when they were scolded, regardless of whether they had disobeyed or not. This led her to conclude that the guilty look is more a response to the owner's behavior than an expression of guilt. Another study conducted in Hungary used MRI technology to examine dogs' brain activity. The results showed that dogs have the same voice area in their brains as humans, which helps them understand emotional tones. This suggests that dogs might indeed be capable of feeling emotions like guilt. However, these studies have their limitations. Dogs are not humans, and their emotional experiences may be vastly different from ours. It's difficult to definitively say whether a dog's guilt is akin to human guilt. Plus, while dogs may understand our tone, it doesn't necessarily mean they understand the concept of right and wrong in the same way we do. Also, it's important to note that the guilty look often associated with dogs, the lowered head, the flattened ears, the puppy eyes, is a submissive posture in the dog world. It's a way for dogs to communicate that they are not a threat, and it's often misinterpreted by us humans as an expression of guilt. As we can see, the science is not entirely conclusive, but let's not stop there. Let's hear what the experts have to say about dogs and their ability to apologize. When it comes to the question of whether dogs can actually apologize, there are varying views among experts. Dog behaviorists and animal psychologists have studied this topic extensively, and their conclusions are as diverse as their fields. Some experts, like renowned dog behaviorist Patricia McConnell, argue that dogs do not possess the cognitive ability to feel guilt or remorse in the same way humans do. They believe that what we interpret as an apology is actually a response to our own reactions and emotions. In essence, our furry friends are just trying to placate us, not apologize for any wrongdoing. On the other hand, there are experts like Stanley Coren, a professor of psychology at the University of British Columbia, who suggests that dogs might indeed have a sense of morality similar to that of a human toddler. They believe dogs can understand when they've done something wrong and can exhibit behaviors that seem like an apology. And then there are experts like Alexandra Horowitz, a dog cognition researcher at Barnard College, who suggests that what we perceive as guilt or an apology is actually a form of submissive behavior. Dogs might display these behaviors to avoid punishment or to diffuse a tense situation, not necessarily because they feel remorse. But what about the middle ground? There are those who suggest that while dogs might not understand guilt or remorse in the same way we do, they are capable of learning from their mistakes and can display behaviors to prevent a recurrence. These experts propose that what we see as an apology might be a learned behavior, a result of associating certain actions with negative consequences. It appears that the expert community is divided on this issue. But what can we conclude from all this information? Well, while there's no definitive answer, it's clear that our dogs are more complex and emotionally intelligent than we might think. Whether or not they can truly apologize is still up for debate, but one thing's for sure: our dogs are always communicating with us in their own unique ways.